plant is Gaultheria procumbens, wintergreen, and wintergreen contains a constituent called gaultherin, a saponin glycoside, and the glycoside gaultherin is anti-inflammatory. So this plant is used for arthritis, for inflammatory pain in the joints, and it's also a very good diuretic. Some of the other constituents in this plant means that it's useful for the urinary system as well. So in helping with joint pain, it also helps to rid the body of some of the toxins that we might have in our bloodstream when we're going through a natural healing procedure for changing chronic arthritis or rheumatism. So it's also used for its volatile oils. Many people might be familiar with this plant because of its flavor in Lifesavers, but if a Lifesaver wintergreen is the only chance you've ever had to experience this wonderful flavor, straight from nature, it is the most delicious, fragrant, refreshing flavor that you can possibly come across. And why shouldn't arthritis medicine be delicious?
Relaxed. Here, we do a more vigorous expression of Guolin's walking form. Just simply walking, and yet the goal is to keep your mind clear and free. And the breath is 2 in and 1 out, explained in great detail in my book, The Healer Within.
And hold those feelings in your hands, like holding a ball. Then take them and change that energy into a person or thing you love very much. It could be your kitty cat Blue. And take that one you love so much.
Definition, that is to say, a manned, quote-unquote, alien being traveling alongside this comet.
Right. And that another major contributing force is your sense of self-esteem. A third major contributing force is your sense of honor. What I never realized at all until I wrote my recent book, Anatomy of the Spirit, was I never recognized the role that honor played in the maintenance of health, nor in the process of healing.
Kristen is drawing, but she's drawing over and over and over in your mind. And I'm getting now something. You can stare at me. I'm not even looking at you, as you can see. Keep thinking, and keep drawing it. Okay, I got something. It's actually something quite simple but unusual, because usually people draw a house or a tree or a flower. And now I'll show it to the camera. This is what I got, if the camera can focus onto this. And I got it very strongly. Now, sort of, I'm very curious if I got it. So where did you hide it? Uh-oh. Now open it and... There it is.
Types of people, those that understand hypnosis and the power of hypnosis and realize that it's for real. The AMA, I might add, has accepted hypnosis as a medical tool since 1958, which is rather late, considering how long it's been around. But the point I want to make is that people do not hallucinate in hypnosis. The conscious mind is not unconscious. It's very aware of what is going on around, at all times, around the subject. It is not as if you were in bed asleep.
Things that seem so clear and valuable and needful to us are not answered. I've often thought that we ought to give prayers of gratitude, prayers of thanks sometimes for these unanswered prayers.
Ever more fascinating process. So instead of thinking of it, the destination, we think in terms of the adventure itself.
Mutation and combination of these 3 factors. Later changes happen, so we should know what is individual's constitution, which is Prakriti, and what is individual's present status, called Vikruti.
So this woman walked up to me with what turned out to be her husband in tow, and she asked me, what were you doing yesterday? And I said, oh, I just put my hands on people and helped them heal with Reiki. And pretty soon I could see their pain. And she said, oh, you can see pain, huh? I said, yes. And I wondered, what was she up to? And she said, well, where do I pain? Where are my pains? And I was just startled. But I was quiet for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then I pointed out where her pain was, even down to her upper legs, and she said, why, you're absolutely right.
The time, you would do a full treatment, then you would spend not only extra time on the head, but on the liver and the abdominal area to flush the toxins out quickly.
And yet you see everywhere, in the highest of places, from the White House to the church house, people don't quite want to take responsibility for their own mistakes, their own actions.
In March of 1997, we had a very tragic occurrence that many people refer to as Heaven's Gate, this mass suicide near San Diego, California. And from the standpoint of UFO research, it was unfortunate not just because 39 people died, but because it gave UFOs a very bad name, at least for a short period of time. These people believed that the comet Hale-Bopp was a symbol that it was time for them to translate to a higher level of reality, and that this was going to happen by going on.
What should we call it, the temptations of the world to run me. But that my intention to be of spiritual value, to be loving, to be caring, to make a difference, that's what is important to me. And so I try to express that, you know, in my books and in my work and with the people I meet.